obstructions have disappeared. We are fully enlightened Buddhas, but we have the obstructions that don't allow us to realize this, to be fully in awareness of this condition. The base is totally self-aware in a non-dual way, and is self-aware of its own enlightened condition, but the mind of human beings, which is illusory, is not aware of it. So there is an essential distinction between nature of mind and mind. Nature of mind is like the mirror. There is total non-duality. The images, the reflections in the mirror are not at a distance from the mirror. And the reflectant capacity of the mirror doesn't experience itself as separate from the reflection. So it cannot accept some and reject others. If it accepted, it would experience pleasure. If it rejected, it would experience pain. But then it would feel separate from the object, and then the wholeness of our true condition would have been broken in our experience. This is what happens in the condition called mind. In the condition called mind, it seems that the reflectant capacity of the mirror is our own, and it occupies a point, a place in the mirror, and that it is separate from the reflection, at a distance from the reflection. And then each of us experiences the reflection from a different perspective. I experience you as being there in front of me, you experience me as being here in front of you. But in fact, all that manifests by virtue of the reflectiveness of the mirror, that is, of the cognitive capacity of our own awareness, which is not individual, is universal. It's universal, this awareness, but yet each of us has a mental extreme, which is like a different point in the mirror. So if I get enlightened, not all of you have to become enlightened. And if Robert gets enlightened, I don't need to get enlightened. So everyone attains awakening at a different moment, and each one perceives from a separate, different perspective. So this is more or less the meaning of essence, nature, and energy. Three aspects of the base which correspond to the Trikayas. The Trikayas which are fully enlightened, the Trikayas of Buddhahood, but so long as we have temporal obstruction, temporary obstruction, then we cannot, from this standpoint of being the dot that experiences itself as separate from the reflection, then we cannot be aware of this non-dual self-awareness of the true enlightened condition of everything. So we have fallen into samsara, and then we have trouble because samsara is suffering. There is no being who suffers, but there is the illusion of a being, and there is the illusion of suffering. Okay. Then we could explain a little more, but I think we better go into the three forms of manifestation of energy, which are the ones that you see on the right in energy, in the first triad. There is a secondary triad in energy. And then we have Dang. These are forms of manifestation of this energy, of this aspect of unobstructed, continuous, uninterrupted manifestation. One way of manifesting is as Dang energy. What is this Dang energy? This Dang energy is that of which all mental phenomena are made. Thoughts, imagination, fantasy, memory, all of that is made of Dang energy. So we could call it energy of the sphere of the mental. That could be a translation for Dang energy. And what is the true condition of Dang energy? The Dharmakaya. Then we will explain Rolpa energy and cell energy. But first of all, there seems to be a contradiction. First, essence was Dharmakaya, then nature was Sambhogakaya, and then energy was Nirmanakaya. And now, in the Nirmanakaya, we have Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. This seems absurd. Well, the first explanation of essence, nature, and energy as the three kayas is common to Tantra, to Mahayana Buddhism, and to Dzogchen. This secondary explanation, in which Dharmakaya is the true condition of Dhan energy, Sambhogakaya is the true condition of Rgalpa energy, and Nirmanakaya is the true condition of cell energy, is only proper to Dzogchen Upadesha Varga, to the series of secret oral instructions of Dzogchen. And because only in that series, and to some extent in Long Day, the series of space, do we deal with these three modes of manifestation of energy. And we are going to explain the path in these terms. So we will continue to see this further on. So that energy, one moment, we need something here, but I don't see it now.
F11.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Oh yes, here. And then we have here
No, the yellow one.
the yellow one. This?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So this is the example of Dhan energy. But the sphere is also the example of Dharmakaya. Why? Well, the true condition of Dhan energy is the Dharmakaya. So before we explain Dhan energy, let's explain the example of the sphere. The sphere represents the true condition of reality. Why? A sphere has no angles, no corners, and angles and corners represent that which excludes something. So if I have this angle excludes all that is outside the angle. Yes? The true condition of reality does not exclude anything. This is why it's represented as a sphere. It's not exclusive of anything, because all that can manifest is the true condition of reality. In truth, is the true condition of reality. So, this true condition cannot exclude absolutely anything, not even non-existence. Therefore, it cannot be perceived in terms of thought. This is the meaning of this. Angles and corners represent thoughts. Why? Because all thoughts are defined. Acharya Dignaga, a Mahayana master who gave birth to the Pramanavada tradition, said that concepts are defined by exclusion, apoha in Sanskrit, or exclusion of other, anyapoha. So, big is defined by exclusion of small. Right is defined by exclusion of left. Up is defined by exclusion of low. And so on. Everything male by exclusion of female. So, absolutely anything that can be thought, the thoughts are exclusive. They are defined by exclusion of something else. Also in Western philosophy, there is the famous dictum, definitio fit per genus proximum et differentiam specificam. Definition is made by proximate genus and a specific difference. So, for example, we are taught that human beings the human being is a rational animal at school. Yeah? And then animal is the wider genus. Yeah? Because we are animals, but all the other animals are animals. And then rational is supposed to be that which distinguishes us from all other animals. Therefore, we can say that we are rational because we have created an ecological crisis that could very well destroy the human species during this century, and no other species have been able to do that before. Okay. So, we have this sphere, and this is called Tigle in Tibetan, and we say that the true condition of reality is Tigle Chempo, a total sphere, because it cannot enter in concepts. It cannot be, and then how can it be realized? It is realized when concepts collapse, and then nothing else conceals the true condition, and then we realize directly the true condition of reality. How? Because all that was covering it, concealing it, and distorting it has dissolved. But now we have to talk about Dang energy in particular. And what is this Dang energy? We said is the sphere of the mental. Then, according to the Buddhist cosmogony, the Dang energy is the first energy that is manifest. And it has neither inside nor outside. But then Rolpa energy manifests, and then cell energy manifests. And cell energy seems to constitute an external dimension. When that happens, Dang energy seems to be an internal dimension. So if we close our eyes and imagine something, this seems to be happening in an internal dimension. And when we open our eyes and see the world, that seems to be an external dimension. There seems to be a dichotomy between these two dimensions. So, once we have that, we can understand the example of the crystal ball and not only the sphere or tigle, because when you see that crystal ball, if you look at it, all that is outside is being reflected inside. Can you see it? If I close my eyes, I can reproduce, if I have a eidetic image, I can reproduce all that was in the room, but it will not be as bright, and I won't be able to touch it. So it's neither visible nor tangible. It's neither luminous nor tangible. And these are two characteristics of Dang energy. Everything appears inside, but dimmer, not so bright, and in a somewhat different way, it seems to be inside the crystal ball, the whole of reality. So, an internal dimension. So, this is more or less the essence of Dang energy. What is Rolpa energy? Rolpa energy is a manifestation of self-luminous forms. If the true condition of Dang energy is the Dharmakaya, it's because the Dharmakaya is the true condition of thought, of imagination, of memory, of fantasy, etc. So, Rolpa energy is a manifestation of self-luminous visions. And they have a very strange dimensionality, which we will discuss later on. not now. Now we will skip role by energy and we will go to the explanation of cell energy. As we said, cell energy is what seems to constitute the external world. And this cell energy seems to be an external reality. This is why it is illustrated with this. A rock crystal. When light hits the rock crystal, it decomposes into the colors of the prisma and it is projected outside. Actually, it is the potentiality of this that is being projected outside. Actually, it is the potentiality of our true condition that it seems to be projected in an external dimension. And this external dimension seems to be substantial in the sense of offering resistance to us. Not in the sense of not having independent existence. Substantiality as lack of independent existence is the traditional understanding of substantiality in Western philosophy. And this other one, as something that offers resistance to us, is Heidegger's understanding of substantiality in being and nothingness. Yeah? We can imagine a Pegaso and we can make it fly and then dive into the water and go under the water, but we cannot make that picture, frame that with the picture, float in the air. And we cannot put our hand through the table. So, it offers resistance to us. This is why this cell energy I am calling projective, apparently substantial energy. It seems to be independent from us and to offer resistance to us. We cannot manipulate it at will. I cannot carry an elephant. Yeah? Even if some very strong machine could lift it, I cannot do it with my hands. Yeah? So this is simply the world that we perceive as external. This is the meaning of cell energy. And then, what about role-by energy? We already said that it was a sphere of self-luminous vision. So, the true condition of that energy is the Dharmakaya. The true condition of role-by energy is the Sambhogakaya. The Sambhogakaya is self-luminous vision of Buddhas of three types: peaceful, wrathful, and joyful. The peaceful are those which are totally immutable. The joyful are in yap-yum, in erotic mystic union, and moving and maybe smiling and laughing. And the wrathful, they are also moving even more than the joyful, surrounded by fire, and they are very fierce. They have fangs and claws, and they are really fearsome. But they are manifestations of the Buddha nature. They are Buddhas that have to manifest in that way in order to subdue delusion, to subdue whatever is the source of evil. It's not that they are demons, even though they may resemble, to some extent, their form may resemble that of demons. Okay, so we will understand these three types of manifestation of energy better when we explain the path and the fruit, which we will do immediately right now.
much like a fox is orange. I can
Not this. Okay.
But now it's not, the size is not correct.
just pick this.
Actually, this.
Firefox and,
Which?
This.
no.
No, to the right. This yeah. This exactly.
Okay,
And F11. Okay, but it's not.
great. Okay, now the path. What is the path? The term Tantra means continuity. And it is illustrated with a mala, a rosary, in which the thread is continuous and the beads represent different experiences that succeed each other, and the bead represents the continuity, the thread represents the continuity of our own awareness, and it has the connotation of luminosity. It has the connotation of prabandha in Sanskrit, which is luminosity. But even more important, it refers to the continuity of base, path, and fruit. Dzogchen, the books of Dzogchen are called tantras, but when we say path of renunciation, transformation, and spontaneous liberation, then the Sutrayana is the path of renunciation, the Tantrayana or Vajrayana is the path of transformation, and the Ati Yoga Tantra Yana is the, or Dzogchen as a path, is the path of spontaneous liberation. The continuity, the Tantra of Dzogchen is more perfect than the continuity of the path of transformation. Because in the path of transformation, we have to visualize